All right, we're gonna talk about something a little uncomfortable today, right? A lot of people walking around thinking they're middle class. They have a 800 credit score, 750 maybe. They have a Costco membership. Maybe they have a BMW. Maybe they own a crib, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe they got a couple kids they can take care of. Maybe they're taking care of a spouse and they consider themselves as middle class individual. I'll be the one to break it to you. You're not middle class. You're just broke with a good credit score. I'm not even trying to disrespect nobody on here, but I'm just trying to explain to y'all the difference between financial dependence and financial stability. When we breaking down all the myths about the middle class identity and what people really think financial stability is, I'm gonna explain to you how you can move from thinking you're middle class to actually being middle class, upper middle class, and getting into that wealthy category. A middle class individual, right? Let's say you got 2 kids, you're earning your own money, wife's dependent on you, she's stay-at-home mom, your kids are really young, maybe she'll start working in a couple years, right? You're making 120, your kids have their own rooms, right? 3-bedroom house, right? You're good. You're able to save up like half your down payment. Maybe your wife's dad gave her the other half, you guys put it together, boom. And you're paying $3K a month on your mortgage. You guys have 2 BMWs, let's say, 330 and like X5 for the kids. You got those 2 cars parked up on your driveway. Probably have a few credit cards. You might go on vacation once a year to Jamaica, all inclusive most likely. Maybe you have some savings, maybe 10 racks just there. Maybe you have some money in your 401k. You just did what you're supposed to do. You're moving up in your company. You've been there for 10 years now. You finally cracked 6 figures and you're just enjoying life, chilling, you're comfortable, you're fine. Truth is, you're probably still seriously in debt, right? You probably owe $500,000 minimum on that house. You're probably still paying off your student loans. You're probably living paycheck to paycheck, right? Let's say you stopped working today. You might only have 2 months of savings to live off of, that 10K we just talked about. You basically have 0 real assets and you're 1 emergency away from being in trouble. But they think, oh, I'm calm, my credit score is high, but it's just because they're in the cycle of borrowing and repaying and not actually building wealth. That's what we want to focus on this channel. We don't want to be in that cycle of just fucking borrowing money and repaying it back. You know what I'm saying? We actually want to be building wealth. And we want to be ending off every year better than we did last year. We don't want to be living check to check. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to be ending off every year better than the year before. So I reiterate it again. I talk about this a lot on the channel. But your credit score is just a measure of how good you are at borrowing and repaying money. It has nothing to do with how rich you are or your financial wealth. This guy just went on about was going to spend years paying off those cars, paying additional interest back to government, paying so much interest on that house he bought, paying so much interest on the credit cards. Let's say the kid has an emergency or your dad has an emergency, right? This is life. We're all living. Shit happens. It is genuinely a trap. This life is not middle class. You're just financially dependent. A real middle class individual is saving money every month. Like every month they end off, their bank account's going up. And this is excluding your 401k. Your 401k is a different thing, right? You need that bread for retirement and shit. That's a different thing. You should be saving in your bank account on top of your 401k. So a real middle class individual saving money on top of their 401k. You can also describe that as positive cash flow. Every month their bank account's going up and not staying stagnant. Savings that last at least a year, right? So if you lost your job today, can you survive for a year? Yes or no? For most people, you gotta at least have 80, 90, 100 grand stacked. And thirdly, you should have at least 1 income producing asset, at least 1 thing that's generating you money while you're not doing anything. While you're asleep or while you're kick up in a hammock in the Bahamas, like that shit's paying you regardless. You gotta have at least 1 of those. Brief overview of what an asset is something you buy and then goes up in value or that makes you money. A liability is something you buy, instantly loses money the second you buy. I got a whole video on that on my channel. But yeah, you gotta have at least 1 income producing asset. The system sells you a dream, y'all. They reward you with lower interest rates the more in-depth you prove to be. We gotta get out of this fucking mentality. First thing y'all need to do is stop identifying with an image, right? You gotta start identifying with real progress. You know what I'm saying? Every month that number in your bank account should be going up. If it's not, then there's something off about your lifestyle. You're either going through lifestyle inflation or you're just spending above your means. Every month your bank account needs to be going up. That's number 1. Number 2, start tracking your net worth, right? How much do you have versus how much you owe? That number should be ingrained in the back of your head and on the Excel sheet somewhere on your computer and maybe written on the wall somewhere. You need to know exactly what your net worth is, what you owe at all times, and what you're worth at the moment. Know what all your assets are worth. Know what everything you own is worth. If your credit score is good, that's amazing, right? I need you to start being smart with how to utilize it. Use that leverage to start buying assets. Don't just use it to buy cars and shit that you don't need. Use that money you can borrow, put it into a business, put it into an asset. Start small, a little side hustle, cash flowing e-commerce website, an ETF portfolio, high yield savings account, whatever the fuck you want to do, just put that money, take that, use the government's money. You don't have to use your own. As long as that investment is giving you a higher return than the interest rate you're borrowing it at, do it. Please, please focus on wealth and not just your appearance. Yes, I get it. Everybody has bad habits and likes nice things. I'm amongst those people. I'm part of that group, but you got to be able to fucking afford it. You can't just be living paycheck to paycheck and saying, oh, but I have to go on vacation. I have to have this BMW and I have to have this. You got to be able to afford it. Broke with a good credit score is still broke. You know what I'm saying? Just because you have good credit does not mean that you're financially stable. It just means the bank likes you enough to lend you more money to keep you broke. Subscribe, share this to anyone who you think needs to see this. Book a one-on-one down below if you need personalized help getting out of the credit trap and into the asset game. I hope y'all enjoy this one. Stay sharp.